now, you guys know, Bullhorn Betty got her ass locked up. Won't let me out. Locked up. But first, before we get into that, I'm going to need you to leave your DNA on the like button just in case Chris and Katie go take a protective order on you and get your ass locked up. Dolly can come bail you out, okay? Bail you out. See, the reason I ain't bail out Betty is because she didn't leave a like on my video. She said I was on drugs, okay? But I ain't the one taking mug shots, looking all stiff, right? That ain't Dolly. That ain't Dolly. I was living my best life, and that didn't include jail, okay? That didn't include jail. Here's the bad news. Here's the bad news. She is out, okay? She is out. From what the rumors are saying on the internet streets, she is out. Now, a lot of people are saying she went to jail for a failure to appear. Nick Barris reported that she violated the protective order ×2. Now, I don't know what she did, maybe to talking shit about people on the internet or talking about these people on the internet. They violated her protective order. All right, let me hit these super chats before I get into this so I can thank you guys. Okay, well, we know her behavior and her mouth, okay? That's what got her arrested is her damn mouth, all right? But listen, you know, I'm pro freedom of speech. You got to be careful, though, when you allegedly following people around, getting in confrontations with them. That's a little bit different than just sitting up here on the internet talking crap about people, because that led to the protective orders. And then what she did after that violated these protective orders. And listen, you're innocent to proven guilty. She'll have her day in court. She, you know, you never know. She might get locked back up. You go to Tennessee on vacation. You leave on probation, right? You leave on probation, or you end up in the lake, right? You end up in the lake, or you vanish, right? A lot of people vanish from Tennessee, or they end up in that lake, or they end up where Bullhorn Betty ended her ass up today. And that is in the jail block, okay? Now she's like, she got street cred, okay? She's leading a gang in the jail, right? She might shank a motherfucker, right? I don't know. I'm just playing. But look, I'm glad it ain't Dolly. Now, here's one thing I've heard people say. Well, she got locked up trying to be like Dolly because that's what Dolly did in Georgia. Let me tell y'all this 100% for sure. Dolly didn't want to go to jail in Georgia, right? My plan wasn't out here going, lock me up, right? And we've heard Betty say that. Lock me up. They can arrest me to show how corrupt they are. We already knew that Chris and Katie had friends in the police, right? So you want to go mess with them, knowing allegedly they got Seth a job at the correctional office. They called the sheriff's department because they knew people in the sheriff's department. The Bower Sox got money. The Proudfoots got money. And your ass is sitting in a jail cell. You got winded up, put out there to do Seth and Tony's pit bull work, right? They are responsible, along with her mouth, okay, for her situation that she's in, okay? Now, you know, I would go get Betty out. But she said I was on drugs and she didn't like my video. Okay. So for that, I can't get you out. I can't get you. It's the principle. It's the principle at this point. Okay. So, I mean, her bond was $2,000. Well, $20,000. So you got to put up a couple G's to a bondsman to get you out, and they don't get that money back. Okay. Now here's the thing. While all this was going down, she made it clear that she was Team Seth. Now, if you'd have been Team Dolly, I'd have got you out. But you wasn't. You was Team Seth, or even if you was Team Sebastian Rogers, I'd have got you out. Okay? But you're not either one. You're not Team Sebastian Rogers. You're kissing the ass of some opportunists and some scammers. Right? And you went out there and did their dirty work, and you are paying the price for that. Okay. Now I ain't losing $2,000 of my money because you joined the wrong team, right? When you're on Team Sebastian, you don't go to jail, right? Because you don't follow people around. You don't get in altercations with people. It's about the kid, not your personal vendetta with a people you don't personally know. Okay. Yeah, I talk a little bit of shit, but I don't know you. I don't know Chris and Katie. I don't know Seth. I've talked to them, right? But I wouldn't say I know them. So, and now you're caught up in the legal system. You don't want to end up like Benny Keys, where they put into a court order that you're not allowed on the internet. Now, listen, I'm for freedom of speech. Don't get me wrong. There is a fine line when you cross that line, and it becomes threatening, harassing, and could ultimately end up getting somebody hurt. Okay. Now, if you're saying these people definitely did this, they did it, right? Even Dolly, I suspect people, but I don't say for 100% that they did it, because if you say that, then some crazy could hear you say that and believe it and then go hurt them. That was one of my biggest fears with Leilani Simon in Georgia, that we knew she did it, but I didn't want to see somebody hurt her, because, in this world, two wrongs don't make anything right. Okay. If somebody would have drove by and, broke out the blicky and started firing at Leilani while she was sitting in the yard, that ain't good. And never do you want to make it to where it seems like you're inciting your people to do things for you, right? And now, there's people out there saying allegedly, I don't know if it's clickbait or whatever, but Tony might be the next one. Because, like I said, he's paid this lady, he's put this lady up to this, well, she had this behavior before, but he's the one that wound her up and unleashed her, Seth, Tony, and the Betty crew, right? So this whole thing that was supposed to be about Sebastian Rogers yesterday, right? Sebastian Rogers' ride, raise money for Michaela's Mutt Hut, turned into a full-blown shit show, okay? One, people on the internet, some of you guys are crazy, right? Don't let your hate for somebody make you a bad person. You don't need that in your life. Listen, you don't like somebody, don't like them, but don't let your hate just, blind you to the whole big picture of this. This wasn't about this lady going to jail yesterday, and that's what it became. Everything. This lady in jail. This is about, still to this day, is about Sebastian Rogers getting out there, searching for this boy, making things happen. All kinds of stuff has been lost sight of in that. And yesterday, I think the internet made a mockery of Sebastian's stuff, because it was all about, let's go up there, let's stream it, let's see Betty go to jail. It was like the Betty go to jail watch party, right? And I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I'll watch, right? But you're losing sight of what's going on. This whole time that everybody's hating, this is time that you could be doing something positive with your channel to spread awareness about this boy that's been missing since February 26th, right? It ain't the Betty show. It's the Sebastian show, right? I knew Betty was going to get out. What's the big deal, right? People act like on the internet that this crazy ass woman, right, is going to go to prison for 100 years. We couldn't get that lucky. Okay. Honestly, it's misdemeanor stuff, and it ain't that big of a deal. And it ain't like they were going to keep her. I mean, I knew at some point she was getting out. It took her a little bit longer than I thought it would. All right. Because with the first place they arrested her, she didn't have a bond because they had to transfer her from Montgomery County to Sumner County. And then, of course, she was granted a bond. Now, when I heard what her bond was, I was like, damn. Okay. I think in Georgia, I had like a $3,000 bond. And that was physically breaking the law, right? Like, so, I mean, they hit her with a pretty high bond. And I think that's because, you think authorities and police and detectives and don't watch these channels, but they do. When I was in Georgia, I had so many cops say, hey, Dolly, I watch this channel. And I'm thinking, damn, I didn't know the police were eyeballing the shit out of me. And that was just in Georgia, right? So when you talk about these things, of course, people are interested in these things. Just because you're a police don't mean you don't watch YouTube, right? And they see these things. So she was making idle threats. And I think that's pretty much, Joe Exotic shit to me. But look, Joe Exotic's in prison for 27 years. If you learn anything from Joe Exotic, Don't make idle threats. Don't make idle threats. You're going to do this. You may do that. If you're going to do all that shit, keep it to yourself, right? Now, here's the thing. I don't want these people to think they can shut down every damn YouTuber in the world, okay, with protective orders. Because I think it would have made it played out a little bit different if Betty would have showed up to court, right? I don't know why she chose not to represent herself, or she does have an attorney, right? Since August 8th, I think the paperwork came out August 8th. She got an attorney, and why the attorney won't dare and how this escalated to where it's at, she'll have to figure that shit out in a court of law, right? But I think at this point, do you think she's going to come out and ramp it up, right? Like, F these people, they locked me up for nothing, they're lying, they're this and that? Or do you think this is going to be enough to shut down the Bullhorn? Is this going to pull the batteries out the Bullhorn? That's going to be my question tonight when we open up the phone lines in just a minute. Is this going to stop this lady? She's out now. So is it going to be 30 minutes? She going to be live? Or is this going to be one of those things where she better pipe down, go to court, maybe take the advice of her lawyer, and move on and talk about something else for a little bit? Betty got too invested in this, right? When the water gets rough, get out for a minute. When the seas are calm, take your boat right back out into the water, right? You don't, when you in rough seas, you don't go down with the ship. Okay. You don't go down with the ship. But listen, it's hard to feel sorry for somebody, right? When they were campaigning to go to jail. And listen, I don't want to sound psychic. Okay. I'm going to sound psychic. I told you guys that this was going to happen. Once some protective orders went in place, that these people were going to say she did something. They were going to violate the protective orders, and she was going to jail. She pretty much walked right into a trap. All right. Even when I was sitting at dinner with Molly Golightly, Carter, whatever Molly it is these days, right? Crazy ass Molly, right? I was telling her, I was like, yo, they're going to set her up. She's going to get locked up. They're going to do this. And if they'll come out and let me say this before I get into this. Dolly Vision's for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, mixed with theories, a little bit of comedy. So don't take nothing here as fact, okay? Dolly's an idiot. That's y'all's favorite part, right? I'm an idiot. But anyway, the callers' opinions today are theirs and theirs alone, not reflecting on Dolly, all right? You say something crazy, that's you, not me.